So, curriculum. I'm so excited. Let's start the video. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Samantha, and today we have an exciting video. We're going to open up our curriculum for the 2024-2025 school year. These boxes actually came a couple of months ago, and I knew I wanted to do this video, so I just held on to them, and as you can see, they are a bit worn, but we're going to jump straight into this. I'm so excited to open this up. We have been with the Good and the Beautiful now for 4 years. This fall, we will start our 5th year with this company. We've done preschool all the way up. This will be 3rd grade for us. So we've done preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. We'll be going into the 3rd grade. I cannot believe that we're about to finish up our 4th year of homeschooling, going into our 5th year. This is something that I never thought that I would do, but it has been such a life-changing thing in our home. Never in a million years thought I would homeschool you guys, but it's just been such a joy for us and such a blessing for our family. So with that being said, let's jump into the curriculum. And I've already cut the boxes, but I haven't looked in them. So, for all of you guys who don't understand how exciting this is, this is just, for homeschool mamas, this is like Christmas Day. This is so exciting to me to see what we're going to be doing the next year and opening up all the books. So, I will have a 3rd grader. My daughter will be turning 8 and she will be going into the 3rd grade. Then my son will be turning 5 and he's going to be going into kindergarten. So, yeah, we're going to, and I have a 2-year-old and she has a lot of energy. So she runs around and learns also and plays with us, does her thing, colors, draws, plays with her toys. Does all of the videos with us, so she's already learning letter sounds. She can already count to 10. Yeah, so it's always a learning experience in this house, and I know it's the same for you guys. If you're homeschooling, you know exactly what I mean. Okay, so I just cut it open. Let's see what the first book is. Okay, so this is Simply Math 3. So, yes, it's just beautiful. It's called The Good and the Beautiful for a reason, for sure. So, I will do a flip through of that. So, this is going to be Literature, Language Arts and Literature Level 3 course book. So this is going to be different from us from this year, different for us from this year because the binding is different. So we've had spiral bindings on all of our language arts, and so this is going to be different. However, our math did change to this binding, this type of binding this year, and we loved it. The spiral things just start to fall out of it. So, also a good thing about this program that I do want to point out, it covers everything. It covers phonics, writing, reading, grammar and punctuation, spelling, literature, geography, and even art. So, it's pretty jam-packed with information. Oh, it looks so pretty. I'm so excited. Okay. The next one, okay, Handwriting Level 3. Okay, this is something that we love to do in our homeschool. Another thing that we're going to be starting this year is cursive. Who all remember starting cursive in 3rd grade? I remember it very well. So we're going to be doing that. This looks really good. Do a flip through of that. Also, okay, so this is for my son. This is going to be, see the spiral binding, see how it's different? This is Language Arts and Literature Level K. So this is for kindergartners, right? So this, I'm trying to remember if I remember any of this from my daughter. It's been a few years. It looks a bit different. So we'll see. That's for him. And then Simply Good and Beautiful Math K. So that's his math. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe he's going to be in kindergarten. See, I have forgotten all of this. I do remember a little bit of it. Okay, so that's the first box. Let's see, second box. So I think that's all of our core subjects, math, language arts. Now I did order, oh my goodness. I did order a couple of other things. Let's see if we can get into this. Okay, so I'm not going to take this out of the wrapping. This is the math box that goes with my son's kindergarten math. So this has manipulatives in it. It has dice, game pawns, cars, counting sticks, things, activities for the games that go with his math curriculum. So we will be keeping this under wraps until we absolutely need it. I do not need my 2-year-old grabbing this and taking it all over the house, because that's what she does with my 7-year-old's second grade math box, and we can never find the pieces when we need them. So we just make up our own way of doing the game. Alas, that is how it is. But that's another thing that is great with homeschool, is that, you know, even if we don't have the exact pieces that we need, you can always change the curriculum to how you need it to work for you. If you don't want to do the review portions at the beginning of these lessons, you don't have to. It's strictly up to you. You buy this curriculum and it's wonderful to go by, but you don't have to go word for word like it says. You can use it to your advantage. So this is my daughter's Math 3 box. Same thing. We're not going to open this up right now. We just have too much time before we start our new year in August. We're not gonna do that. Okay. So this is for my son. These are the Reading Booster A cards for him for kindergarten. And I remember this with my daughter. These are such the sweetest, well-written cards with such amazing graphics. We enjoyed reading all of these for all of the grades. They just boost their confidence so much when you can actually give them a book and just be like, hey, you know, let's try to read this. And when they start actually realizing that they can put the sounds of the words or the letters together, it just makes all the difference in their little confidence. And, okay, so this is new. Kindergarten Pet Pal books. So this includes books, 40 different books, all the different sounds that we're going to be learning in the letter teams in the kindergarten curriculum. This is awesome. That's something that I'm excited to do with him. Okay, so now this is spelling practice for my 3rd grader. So this is something new for us this year. We've never had a separate spelling book that came with language arts. So this is going to be different, but I'm actually really excited to see this because I really think that we need to start doing just a little bit extra on our spelling. I really think that that would benefit my daughter immensely. Okay. Reading Booster A cards. Now this is for my kindergartner. Now I'm remembering now. We used the old Good and Beautiful Language Arts for my daughter when she was in kindergarten. We did not do the Reading Booster A cards. We actually started in first grade with the Reading Booster B cards. She had no problem picking that up as a new part of her curriculum. So this is going to be for my son. So this is going to be different than what I've experienced for kindergarten in the past. So I'm excited for this. And I think he's going to like it also because he sees us reading and doing the booster cards, me and his sister together. And so I think that he's really going to enjoy that time where he and I can actually sit there and read together and do school, because we don't do that in preschool. His lessons are very short. And for him, it's all he needs, but it's been more of a review because he has been around and seen and heard everything that we've been doing all of these years. And so for him, the preschool course has been a pretty good review and honestly just a breeze for him to go through. So sometimes we do his curriculum and sometimes he tags along with us. And sometimes he answers his sister's questions that she should be answering. So that's always fun to see. Okay, so here is his handwriting. Handwriting Level K. So he is doing the preschool handwriting currently. And it's always it's so fun to look through because they just enjoy that so much. Okay, let's see where we're at here. I have no idea what this is. Oh, this is a whiteboard. I'm not sure which child this goes with, but we have many of these floating around our home. I'm just going to put this back in and hopefully protect it until the new year. I might have to hide this stuff. You never know. Okay, so these are for my third grader. So these are going to be for her language arts curriculum. These are her readers. So this is The Journey of Five. This is going to be The Kingdom of Kind. Let's see. Heather and the Highland Pony. And Timothy of the 10th Floor. I'm really excited to dive into this book. I have seen reviews of previous mamas that have said that this is a really good book, and some of them have even said that they've had very emotional children and even themselves after reading this. So I'm super excited to see what this is about. I don't know where it falls at in our curriculum. I might just read it myself and see what it is about. But yeah, so these are the readers. She will be reading those 4 books throughout the year, I'm sure, as they go along with her lessons. Okay, so this is something I'm really excited about. Well, what about that? My battery died. You always see these videos and the person you're watching always says that their battery dies. Well, this is a first for me, so here we go again. Let's try this again. Okay, so we're down to 2 books. So, typing, the first course in typing. I'm super excited about this. I plan to get her to do this on her own when my son and I are going to be doing either math or language arts. I feel like this is something that she will be able to read and do for herself, and obviously if she has any questions, I will be right there with her. I just think the quicker that we just kind of dive into this, the better it will be for her. She loves to just get on my computer already and just write stuff and copy things out of books that she really likes. So I think kids are drawn to just electronics in general. You all know that, but I would prefer her to be on a laptop and to learn how to do this. So I'm very excited about this. I learned how to type, I believe it was my senior year in high school, and I would have preferred to have known this a lot quicker. So, and I taught myself. Yes, I went to public school, but the class that I had, I taught myself how to type. Okay, last thing, and this is going to be for my third grader and my kindergartner. So The Good and the Beautiful has come out with Science for Little Hearts and Hands. Now, this is the big book of science stories for sparks and stars. We have the other two science curriculums that they put out for Little Hearts and Hands. I think the first one is Flowers. I would have to go back and look. And the second one was Wind and Waves. I'm not sure which one we're going to start with. I do plan on doing at least 2 of these next year, possibly even 3. We might even start one this summer. I'm not really sure yet. Where we live at in the United States, it gets so hot during the summer. So much so that the kids can't really even go outside during the day and play because it's triple digits. So unless you go outside early in the morning or late in the afternoon, there's really not much that you do during the day outside without it just being blazing heat. So a lot of times, the past 2 years for sure, we've just done school through the summer. We take so many breaks during our homeschool during the year for different trips that we take, different activities that we do. So for us, it's a chance to kind of catch up on the things that we might have been a little more slower on during the year, which is perfect for us because the weather allows for it. It's really hard for me to pull the kids outside in the spring and the fall weather because it's so nice where we live, and I would prefer them to be outside and be playing because you cannot use that in the summer. So yeah, so we might accidentally start one of these in the summer. I'm not sure yet. That's what my braids are for. We actually just came back from a homeschool field day with our homeschool group. So, yeah, my daughter wanted me to do her pigtails with braids. And so I was like, hey, why not match her? So, we had a fun field day with our homeschool group. Lots of, just the kids running and loving it. Snacks, fellowship, ribbons, yeah, water balloon fight. It was really fun. So that's going to be the last event that we're able to do with our homeschool group for this year. We're going to be taking a trip actually this week, and I'm excited to film some of that for you guys. We take mini trips. So I'm excited to show you all the things. But I believe that's going to be it for today. I'm so excited that the kids get to look through their stuff for next year. That's always something fun that they love to do, just to see what's in store for them. And I'm excited to look through it too. Let's get into the flip through for my daughter's third grade curriculum. Now this will just be core curriculum. So this will be the Language Arts and Literature for Level 3, the Simply Good and Beautiful Math 3, and Handwriting, along with the supplements that come with it. Let's get started with our flip through. We're going to start with our Language Arts and Literature Level 3 course book. Now remember, this covers a whole plethora of different subjects like phonics, writing, reading, spelling, literature, geography, just all of the things. These 2 pages show what items you're going to need for this curriculum. It just kind of tells you the different apps that are going to be required. the different items for each unit, and it kind of gives you a brief rundown about the course. Then we get into the table of contents, which is actually going to break down each lesson for you and tell you what your child is going to learn this year. It gives a really good breakdown of that information. Then we're going to get into the at a glance pages, which also just kind of gives you a brief rundown of what you're going to do this year. This is the spelling scope and sequence by unit. Then you're going to get into the painting credits. So they're just going to give acknowledgments to everyone who has allowed them to put a painting into this course. And I have to say, all of them are beautiful. So now we're going to get into the Unit 1 overview. Just going to kind of, once again, break it down for you. And now we're going to get into the lessons. Look at how beautiful this is, you guys. We're already going to get into one of the paintings that The Good and the Beautiful is just known for. So now we're going to get into some of the independent study sections for your child. So this is something that they can complete on their own if you wish. Obviously, you can help them with whatever they need help with. I like to really utilize those sections, those independent sections, to be able to do other things with my other children. It works out really good if you're homeschooling multiple children, to be able to just step away for a few moments and go and do a lesson or a game or something with another child, and you can utilize that time for that. So just look at the illustrations. They're just gorgeous. It just helps you engage your child even more, to just let them appreciate art while learning. We're just going to do a quick flip through. I just really want you guys to get a feel for this language arts. I know when I first started homeschooling, it was so hard for me to pick a curriculum, and it made it even harder when you weren't really sure what was in the book that you were getting. So I really just want you guys to be able to get like a really brief overview of what this looks like, what an actual lesson looks like with this course. So it looks like we're going to get into some pronouns. Practicing on their writing. So we're going to do some more review and writing. I love these journal prompts that they have so that they can just practice writing their thoughts down. It also helps with their handwriting skills. Some more reading that we're going to be doing. More discussion, book reports. Like, I'm so excited to start this. Oh, I had to show you guys this. Look at this beautiful picture. It's Jesus preaching. Maybe it's the Sermon on the Mount. I'm not sure. But isn't that gorgeous? And they included it in this curriculum. Oh, I'm so excited to start this next year with my daughter. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Unit 1 through 3 review. So this is kind of like your test, so to speak, at the end of the year, your assessment, where you're just kind of making sure that your child has, grasped the concepts that you're trying to teach them. This is not something that we really place a high value on, just because I know what my children are capable of doing throughout the year, because I'm the one teaching them. So it's just mainly a review. So that's language arts. Timothy of the 10th floor. So we're going to get into our first reader that we're going to complete with our curriculum. So we're going to do the table of contents, just kind of breaking down each chapter by page number and then kind of giving an introduction about the characters. Then you're going to get into your vocabulary words, your practice page principles. Then we're actually going to get into the first chapter. It's going to tell you your vocabulary words. It's going to show you what the student is going to read actually in that blue section. And then as we turn the next page, you're going to see where the parent or teacher will read these sections in the orange peach color and how you kind of rotate back and forth. Now, this is something that my daughter and I really enjoyed last year. Second grade was the first grade that we actually got to do this, and it worked out really well. You can just kind of see how it sets itself up. And I think she's really going to enjoy these. And then there are 3 additional readers. So spelling practice book. So this is something new for us this year. Again, we do not have a dedicated spelling curriculum or spelling book before this year. So this is 3rd grade. This is the first year that this has been introduced to us. And I have to say that I'm truly happy about it. Not that my daughter needs any help spelling. She does a really good job of that. But just to give it just an extra touch. I really think this is going to help significantly, just having an actual book dedicated to spelling. So this is just going to tell you some of the words. We're going to actually get into the different ways that your child might learn and ways that might just help that process. The Unit 1 scope and sequence, so these are going to be words that they're going to learn in Unit 1. Then we're actually getting into the lesson part of it, so you can see exactly what you're going to be doing with your child. Actually, you will get into a little bit of sign language, which I think is pretty cool. Not too much, not too painful. Probably 10 minutes a day. Handwriting, something that we all love. We love the good and beautiful handwriting. So it's just going to give you, about this course. If you need to pause this video at any point and try to zoom in and read if you're interested in it. We're going to start cursive this year. I would remember starting cursive when I was in 3rd grade, and I really think my daughter is going to love this. She's asked me before, Mama, what's that kind of handwriting? And I had to tell her, well, it's cursive. You're going to learn it quick enough. So I love how they tell you to write just different things like the Be Kind and God is Love, the different poems that they trace, and just there's little mazes, things that they can color, dot to dots. It's something different every day, so they don't ever get bored with doing the same thing over and over again. Even my son who's in kindergarten, he really loves his handwriting. And then that's the goal. Congratulations, you've successfully completed handwriting 3. So maybe this time next year I'll be doing a review of handwriting. Math 3, Simply Getting Beautiful. Here we go. Okay, table of contents. So it's just going to give you a breakdown of every lesson and what's going to be covered. The thing about the Good and the Beautiful is it is a spiral curriculum. What that means is that when a concept is first given to your child, it will repeat itself. It's not just going to introduce something and then that's it. It's never going to talk about it again. So it definitely is not a mastery curriculum. It is a spiral curriculum, which I really have grown to appreciate. We forget things, guys. We're humans. So it's good to go back and have a review of something that you've learned a couple of months ago. So this is going to be your Unit 1 overview. Then we're getting into the lesson. So this is the first lesson. And then you have your review and activities. Now this is an independent practice section that your child should be able to do on their own. There might be a few things that you have to help them with, but the whole part of it, I don't know. There are a few things I've had to help my daughter with over the years, but I don't mind that. But like I said before with language arts, this is something that you can utilize to go and do another lesson with your child. I don't said the word I'm trying to say. I've lost my words, which as mamas we we tend to do that, which is okay. But what I was going to say was your child should be able to do most of it on their own. So just like language arts, we're just going to keep flipping through. I just really, once again, just want you to get a good feel of what this math curriculum looks like, what a lesson entails, how long you think that you should be spending every day with your child on this. And I know for us, like, we do a lot of different things. If my daughter has had like a really easy lesson and she wants to continue with another lesson, we do it. Whereas if we're doing something that's really, really hard, it might take us 2 days to do one lesson. We just kind of go with the flow and what she's feeling. If she's feeling really good that day, or if she's kind of, under the weather, we just kind of gauge what she wants to do that day. We never push too hard. We always want learning to be fun, and we have to learn. It's not an option. It's not a choice that we have to make, but we do just kind of go with what our children tell us that they're okay with doing for that day. So another thing is course assessment. This is, once again, kind of the last test, so to speak, before you move to a new grade level. Once again, we do this, a bit together, a bit not together. Like I said with language arts, we don't put too much value on it because I know what she can do. I'm with her every day. I know what she needs to work on, what is solid in her education, and what we just need to move on from. That's the beauty of being a homeschooling mama. My daughter asked me one time, well, let me get into this. This is something new for me. These are just like little punch outs that you're going to use with your lessons. It tells you which ones that you're going to use it with. So that's Math 3. The Math 3 box. Now, we're still on the wood boxes. Not my favorite. These are the little things that come with it. So it's like a little calendar. It's like a little dry erase board. So you're going to be able to use a marker with that, I'm almost positive. Some manipulatives. Looks like a measuring tape. We're going to be measuring this year. Some game pawns and some dice. Looks like it has some units of measurement on that also. So those are for all the games that you're going to play with your lessons. Now, we don't play a game every lesson, and they're pretty sporadic. So, simply good and beautiful math. Now, here we go with kindergarten, guys. Now, remember, this is core subjects only. We're going to do language arts, handwriting, and math for kindergarten. So let's jump into language arts and literature. Level K. Same thing for level 3. Like, it covers a whole plethora of subjects. It covers all kinds of stuff, and I'm not going to repeat all of those. Now, what I was looking at the other night is that they do have several things that you do need to know before starting this course. So you really need to stop and think that if your child is capable of moving forward with the kindergarten curriculum. If you don't think that they are, you may need to look into the kindergarten prep book or the preschool curriculum, which is also really good. So this is going to tell you the things that are needed for this course. You're going to use the Letter Tiles app. These are some of the nature readers that you can buy in addition to the course. We actually have these books. I've read all of them with my daughter. They're wonderful books. This is going to give you a very good overview about the course, the breakdown. Then we get into the table of contents, where it's going to tell you exactly what you're going to learn for each lesson. It also breaks it down into the units for you. So The Good and the Beautiful has 120 lessons, and they are broken down into 3 units. So we have At a Glance, just some more information about the course. They do a really good job of telling you everything you need to know, and I do really think that you need to stop and read that, especially if this is your first time with this curriculum. Now, this is your booster cards, okay? So the Reading A booster cards. My daughter actually used the old Good and Beautiful language arts, so we did not do the Reading booster cards A. This will be a first for me. This is going to tell you exactly how it works with the targets, the pacing of the course, some of your spelling words you're going to be learning. So here it says stop. You need to read these things before you start the course. There's a short video to watch on the website. And then we get into lesson 1. And look at this, how cute it is. I just think they do such a good job of their preschool, their kindergarten prep, and their kindergarten books. Like, this will be the second time I have taught a kindergartner, and I honestly just can't believe it, guys. I had such a good time with my daughter doing this. Even though the Reading A booster cards will be new to us this year, when my daughter did this curriculum several years ago, I just remember thinking to myself, this is so well done. Like, I really can't compare curriculums. I don't know what other kindergarten curriculums look like. I've only ever used the Good and Beautiful. But I don't see any reason to change. I love it so much. And for me, it's proven itself because I have a 7-year-old who reads all the time. And I mean, I'm not being partial when I tell you she's a good reader. So here we get into Bobby and the Big Road. We've read that before with my daughter. I'm super excited to do this with my son. And more so than that, he's excited. He's excited that he starts to do or that he gets to do like big school now. Okay, so we're going to get into short stories, and one thing I will say also is that all of the stories, all of the literature you read with your children, it's always going to point back to God or nature or your family. It always has very high moral standards. And this is something that my husband and I were looking for in a curriculum. We really wanted a biblical worldview for our kids. We didn't want them coming from a point where it didn't talk about God because, I mean, this is what it's all about, right? Okay, so now we're getting into the Unit 3 review. So we're going to be doing reading assessment. We're going to be doing spelling with our Letter Tiles app. And that is going to wrap up kindergarten, language arts, and literature. So let's get into the Reading Booster A cards. So I have done the B and the C with my daughter, but the A I have not done before. So I'm kind of excited to see what this is going to look like. So again, you really need to make sure that your child has this information down before starting the course. So it might be a really good review to just go back and make sure that they remember all of these different sounds and letter teams before you start the course. So this just kind of shows you what each card has. And then it's going to prompt you to take out one of your little books that comes with your curriculum and to read that book. So these are the stickers that your child is going to get when they complete a page, a target. When they know that page, they get to pick a sticker and put it at the bottom of their page that they've completed, that they've memorized, that they have mastered. Kind of like a little prize. So here are the Reading Booster A books, and then we have kindergarten books, Pet Pals. I have not opened these yet. These tend to go into hiding if I do open them, so we're going to keep them locked up until we actually need to open them. My kids seem to find everything and then it gets lost and then we don't have it anymore. So let's get into handwriting. Level K handwriting. For me, my thoughts on this is obviously just an extension of preschool, the doodles and pre-writing books. It has a QR code to make sure that your child is holding their pencil correctly. Then we're going to get into our first pages for some numbers and letters, some coloring, tracing, drawing. Every day is different. Looks like we're going to learn how to do names, seasons, and then here we go. Congratulations. That's the goal. Handwriting. Now, Simply Good and Beautiful Math K. Here we go. My youngest is trying to enter the room as we speak. So we have a table of contents. We have our hundreds chart. And then we have, about the course and frequently asked questions. A Unit 1 overview. I know you are probably tired of hearing me say that. Here's our first lesson. So once again, beautiful illustrations, beautifully done. There is a review section in that top left corner that you can do with your child. We're going to be doing some color matching, mazes. My son loves mazes. Going to start into some 10 frames. And here is our first unit assessment. So once again, this is like your first little test just to kind of gauge what your child has learned, what they may need help with, and then we get into Unit 2. Here are some number bonds, starting that early in kindergarten. It's just kind of overwhelming to think that your kindergartner is going to learn all of this in a year. I remember the first time I looked at a curriculum and I was like, is she really going to learn all of this in 1 year? This seems like a lot. I do not come from a teaching background at all. So when I started homeschooling, it was all very new to me. But I'm here to tell you, mamas, that it works. If you just stick with it, it will pay off. I promise you that. To have your kids here with you all day long, to be able to snuggle and love them and point them to the Lord and just protect them from all of the ugliness in this world, it's worth every moment of it. Here is our assessment, the last assessment for kindergarten. And that is it, y'all. That is it for Simply Good and Beautiful Math K. Now we're going to jump into the math box here. I just want y'all to see what is in this. A lot of people I have seen make their own little math boxes. This is not something you have to buy. For me, it's just easier because, let's face it, time is precious. So we have some counting sticks, some game pawns, some little cars with the numbers on them, and also some dice. And these will be for the games that you play. Once again, they will be sporadic. They will not be for every lesson. And please like and subscribe to our channel. I'm so glad y'all stayed today, and thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
We lift our hands up and pray, lay all our love before Him with all of our faith. He is the change within us, there is a light. Let Him lead the way, lift our hands up and